Okay, I think that we are online. And I look a little bit like I'm kind of like, I don't know, like the kind of person you wouldn't want to hang around with. Let's see what we got going on the telephone so we can put it on silent. Let's just make sure. Uh, um, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. All right, so I don't need that, don't need that. All right, good. Here we are. It is technically our third online discussion of the intro stuff. But we've gotten through 7 of the lessons, I think, and this is sort of lesson 7. We stall out on just a little bit because we have to spend a lot of time going through some strumming stuff. And it was interesting. I was listening to the ukulele orchestra rehearsal from last night. And Ian has them working on a piece where the new members working on a piece where he says it's just your ukulele, your regular ukulele strum, and it turns out it was down, down, up, down, down, no, down, down, up, down, up. No, it wasn't. It was down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. And so it was fascinating to me that almost everybody felt really comfortable right away. Like, oh yeah, the ukulele's from down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. One of my favorite things that I learned bunch of years ago, was there's somewhere out there's a textbook with a ukulele unit in it, and in that they have a thing called the Hawaiian strum. And I was like, what is a Hawaiian strum? Like, as if like all the Hawaiians got together, they all got on a conference call and said, hey, we have to come up with the Howleys, that's what they call us. The Howleys need something called a Hawaiian strum. What should we do? Should it be? And they all thought, and they took a vote, and they came up with the Hawaiian strum, which is down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And then that was going to be on this textbook. They were calling out the Hawaiian strum. That never happened, by the way. It was just somebody who made that up. Almost certainly somebody who's not Hawaiian. And yeah, so it's a long way of going around to say, hey, we're gonna have some strums, and we'll talk about some that are useful and some that are interesting. But lesson 7 takes us a little while to get through, just because there's a lot in it, right? And then lesson 8, it'll take us much less time because it's more of the same. It's just then we finally get introduced to the C chord, or if you're on baritone, a G chord, which is sort of the factory issued. Here is the official chords all ukulele players are supposed to know. We don't spend very long on it because you're going to learn those chords anyway. There's no point in going into depth on them. And you shouldn't start with that one because there's this lovely chord called G, or D if you're on baritone, and it's really unpleasant if you're a brand new learner. But once you've learned in the key of A, D, and E7, then this one's not near as hard after that, and that's why I don't start in the key of C like most ukulele people, because I've learned over the years it's a bad place to start, and I don't even start there, right? We start with playing melody, and we will do today's lesson, and then give you the 3 chord songs for the week. And then lesson 8 is a one-day thing where we run over those chords real quick. And then lesson 9, we start digging into chord charts, what they're good for, what they're not good for. Lesson 10, we get right straight into bar chords. So hang on, keep showing up for these, because what's going to happen is long term, you're going to find that these chords are super helpful, but they're not anywhere near as helpful as the individual note playing and chord shapes added with melody playing. That's where you're going to get your long-term bang out of ukulele. And so we get into that very seriously in lesson 13. and a little bit in lesson 12. 10, 11, and 12 are kind of technical things that we got to get through, kind of get those stuffed into your noggin. And then at lesson 13, and then really for the rest of your time in ukulele, we spend an awful lot of time talking about here's the chord shape, here's the melody, how do they fit together. So I think we should have a good time. Got a few more weeks of just making noise on the ukulele, and then we're going to be into this. So if you are feeling like well, hopefully you're feeling like you're keeping up really well. All right, now let's talk about Frère Jacques. Okay, and if you are on ukulele, you're going to play an E chord. That is, you take this finger, index finger, put it on fret 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, push down all of the strings, and then your pinky is going to go on fret 7, and you're going to press down that string. It's going to hurt. Okay, these two fingers, what they're doing is they're hanging out in a nice relaxed position, but they're not going to do anything. Okay, and all you're going to do is strum, 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 strum. Now I don't care right now if you're just doing thumb, down, 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 or if you're doing index finger, down, 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 or even down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Keep it simple. Okay, if you have only a ukulele in your life, that's what you're going to play. I am going to play Frère Jacques on the baritone, and that's why you need this chord to go play with me. Okay, so I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to strum 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I don't have a note, you still keep the rhythm steady. Even if there's nothing going on in the melody, you're still going 1, 2, 3, 4 in every measure. If you're an advanced player, you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, any of those are, as long as you keep it steady and you keep going. Don't let a moment of silence in the melody confuse you into thinking you don't need to make this noise. And then all the way to the very last measure, we'll just play 8 measures. We won't play the whole thing. And when we get to the bottom, the last measure, you have 3. So you would do ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong, and you're going to stop on that dong on the last measure. Okay, so let's take a look at. I think I need to. I think I got this memorized. I'm on baritone. You're probably on ukulele. You're playing an E chord, 4 beats per measure. Every measure gets 4 strums, or if you're doing up and down, it's 8 strums. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, from the top. If you're on baritone, obviously play melody. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0. Open, middle, pinky, open, 4, 5, 7. Index, middle, pinky, middle, index, 4, open, whoops, middle, pinky, middle, index, open, first string, second string, first string, strum, first string, second string, done. Okay, how'd we do? Hopefully you were just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it boring, right? Right at the when you're a brand new player, our job is not to get all fancy over here, right? Don't do the Hawaiian strum. Just keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna have plenty of. You got the rest of your life to get fancy over here. I want you to be steady and good on it right now. Okay, so that's me playing baritone, and you playing the E chord as accompaniment. And the thought process there is we're learning to play ensemble. We're learning to play together. You have one part, I have a different part, and off we go. I want to do it again, okay? Same parts. You're on E chord, bar on 4, pinky on 7, and I am playing the melody. From the top, if you're on baritone, you're also playing melody. 1, 2, ready, go. Strum. last chord. Just let it ring. Okay, don't try to stop your ukulele. It'll stop soon enough. You can tell I have changed my fingering. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? All right, now I'm going to switch to ukulele. If you're on ukulele, you're now going to play melody. And if you're on baritone, you're going to be playing your E chord. Okay, index, middle. Okay. All right. Same drill. Strum, if you're on baritone, hold your E chord and strum every single beat, except on the last measure, there's only 3. From the top, melody players, 1, 2, ready, go. Open, middle, pinky, open, O, 2, 4, O, index, middle, pinky, 4, 5, 7, middle, pinky, middle, middle, index, open, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, O, first string, second string, first string, second string, first string. Okay. Frère Jacques is one of those things I want you to memorize, because at some point somebody somewhere is going to say, hey, teach me something about ukulele. Teach me how to play ukulele. You teach them that. I promise. There's never been any of my students ever that haven't started with that, because once they know how to read tablature, all music is going to be available to them, and so that's what we want to get them going on that as soon as possible. All right, now let's switch over to your strumming stuff. Okay, dun, 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 dun. You guys are the first ones to get this vertical version, and I finished it about 2 years ago, but it's been sitting in my computer, and so I want to get it out and get it going. Now, I'm switching to baritone only because most of you are on ukulele, and I want you to have 2 different sounds going on at the same time. The more we play different things at the same time that go together, the better we get at playing ensemble music. And at the end of the day, you can be as good of a player as you want, but until you're playing with other people, you're not really there. And so I want you to enjoy the activity of getting together and playing with people. Okay, today you're playing with me. All right. If you are on ukulele, your chords are A. That's your A chord, index and middle. Okay, 3rd string, 1st fret is your index, 4th string, 2nd fret is your middle. That's your chord. Okay, baritone players, index, middle, ring, squish them all in the 2nd fret. Leave this open. Now, remember, your thumb is not up here. If your thumb is up here, you're making your life harder and you're making yourself look silly. Put your thumb down here. Okay? Yeah, I should never see your thumb. There is no exception to that rule. I know nobody wants to see your thumb. When you see this, you know you're watching somebody play who is either defiant or improperly trained. One of the two. Okay, and I've worked with both. I don't know. They're both entertaining on some level, but I should never see your thumb. Okay. Next, I want to do just a couple of the 1-chord songs. We're going to talk about right hand the rest of the night, the rest of the time. Okay. So, Frère Jacques going to be just down, 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 down for the first part of it in English. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding, dang, dong. Ding, dang, dong. Okay, notice I stop at the end of the song, right? I don't want to keep strumming if I'm done singing, right? And you notice I was struggling with finding the tonality of my voice. It will occur to you pretty quickly that I should not be singing at all. That's why we learned to play the other way. Okay. You also notice prior on the sheet music version of this, we're in the key of E. Sounds quite a bit different than in the key of A. Okay. And in my guitar program, I teach Frère Jacques as well, both in the key of E and in the key of A, just so people can get used to the different tonalities. And one of them usually is better at singing than other. Hello, KMOS, KMOS live. All right, so now that's just your thumb straight up and down, right? Then, big deal here, okay? Index finger, okay? So everything's the same. Everything's going to be the same. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now you're using your index finger, face of your nail. Don't have your nail facing up here. You're going to get stuck in the strings. Not going to go well. Okay, face of your fingernail faces down. Okay, down, 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 down. But in this case, because we're going to double time it, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now notice my elbow's doing nothing. Okay, recently I was watching Taylor Swift videos, because who doesn't want to watch Taylor Swift? And she is going like this on her guitar. And I'm like, what is she doing? She's a billionaire. She knows better than this. No, it's from your wrist. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And even if you're playing with a pick, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's from your wrist, right? Your elbow is too big and too slow, so we don't want to do that. Let's go with our wrist, up and down, up and down. Okay. From the we're going to play the French version of Frère Jacques and put your chord on. Okay. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'll get us started and then I'll start singing. Okay. Ready? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Here we go. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines. Ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Okay. Big piece. And then don't let up on your chord, right? Bung. Let it ring out. Let it always finish all the way to the end. Ukulele stops a little sooner than baritone, just because this has metal strings on it and ukulele has plastic, right? But just listen to it and don't pull your chord up ever. I don't know of any times, unless it specifically tells you to, that you would stop the ukulele at the end of a song. Just let it ring, okay? It's going to sound better that way. Then we'll move on to Three Blind Mice. Same key, right? Still in the key of A, but now we're going to be looking at, why am I doing this? Where's the button that I'm looking for? There it is. I like to have two of me, the live version and the recorded version. All right, the Three Blind Mice, put your same chord on, but now we use these 4 fingers. You're never going to use your pinky on this hand. Never, never. Okay, it's mostly going to use it to anchor. Okay, and if you talk to classical guitar players, they're going to lose their mind if you say, yeah, I'm anchoring this. But if you talk to banjo players, they can anchor 2 fingers, right? Yeah, sometimes 3, but they for sure anchor these 2. That gives them these 3 fingers. That's all you use on banjo. And lots of instruments, they go ahead and anchor here. On classical guitar, they anchor their thumb up on the 6th string so it doesn't go anywhere. And then when you have to use it, then you lose your anchor, right? But on ukulele, it's perfectly fine to put it here. And it's not going to make any difference in the long run. Okay, now we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Top string, thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Now remember, your thumb is above the 4th string, your index finger's underneath the 3rd string, middle finger's underneath the 2nd string, ring finger underneath the 1st string. Okay? And then thumb goes down, thumb, and then index up, middle up, ring up. Dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on ukulele, you have the high string on the top, so it's going to go bing, bung, 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 bing, bung, bung, bung. It's perfectly fine. It's just something that makes ukulele cool, that you don't get on baritone or on guitar, right? They're in order. You have re-entrant tuning, so you're like a banjo player. Bing, dun, 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 right? And so, not that being a banjo player is cool, it's just different, right? And so it's kind of fun to, when a lot of guitar players are like, oh, I don't know how to play that, and then they find out that you're having a lot of fun, and they are. And it's because you got a high string on top and a high string on the bottom. It's just happiness. Happiness in a very compact piece of equipment. All right, so let's do that together. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Let's do it for a few, and then I'll start the song. Okay, we're going to do Three Blind Mice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, go. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. Nice nice and slow here. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight? Life as three blind mice. And then at the end, right, drop it in there. Okay, I'm going to switch to ukulele just because I wanted you to hear the difference on that type of plucking pattern. And last week we just said, hey, that's something you were going to work on eventually. And I thought, well, let's just work on it now, right? On ukulele, let me make sure I'm in tune. Boy, do I have to change strings. I think I've mentioned this a few times. You did buy one of these, yeah? Where do I put it where you can see it? This. Super tight HC Snark. Buy one of these. 18 bucks, 19 bucks, 20 bucks, whatever it is on Amazon. Just get one. Just bite the bullet and get the right thing. All right. Now remember, before I'm on A on baritone, looks like this. Now I'm on A, looks like this. Okay. Thumb, index, middle ring, same song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb, index, middle ring. Thumb, index, middle ring. Thumb, index, middle ring. 3 blind mice. 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice. 2, 3, 4. See how they run. 2, 3. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Big finish. Now leave the chord on, let it ring out to there, right? That's about the time it runs out. And now you sound very professional, okay? Now, let's switch to the D chord because now we're going to do the 4-finger pluck, okay? So it is, so the most used things, I think, in ukulele, if you're a singer, up and down, up and down, up and down, in various patterns with this finger. If you are a singer who wants to sound next level, you're playing arpeggios, okay? But a lot of times as a ukulele player, you're going to end up being a supporting role, and then they're going to want you just to keep the beat, okay? One of the important things that ukulele does in many groups is just be the drum, right? You go to Hawaii, you go to the luau, you're going to see a lot of this being played on ukulele, and it's just being used as this cool piece of percussion, okay? So let's put your D chord on. Now, if you're on baritone, you have to do the thing that I try to avoid on ukulele. Index finger on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 1st string, ring finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Okay, so that's your D chord. Ukulele, we just cram everybody into the 2nd fret. Index, middle, ring. Okay, so that's your D chord. Okay, and again, we can play together as long as we all have the same chord on our instrument. Not the same shape, just the same chord name. Okay, now row, row, row your boat. We're just going to pluck all 4 at once. So thumb above, index underneath the 3rd, middle underneath the 2nd, and ring underneath the 1st. And you're just going to go bum, 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 bum. Again, you're not using your pinky for anything other than to look pretty. Okay, that's where you put your skull ring. Okay, 2, 3, here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat right across the lake. Don't stand up and rock the boat, oh, that's a big mistake. One more first. Row, row, row your boat underneath the stream. Ha, ha, fool you, it's a submarine. Yeah, I always do that at the end. You don't do that, right? That's good for an ending. Now, that's where we're just keeping the beat, right? Nothing fancy, but we're letting our voice do all the work, letting the ukulele be a percussion instrument, and it works out pretty great. Okay, we're not going to do Farmer in the Dell because you got the idea at this point. But practice all three of those strumming techniques, because all three of those are the foundation of all strumming techniques. Okay, so sometimes you're going to use your thumb, sometimes you're going to use your index finger, sometimes you're going to play all four strings at once, and sometimes you're going to do arpeggios. And you don't have to use all four strings all of the time. You could use 3 strings, right? There's a super famous song in guitar where we only use 2. And there's an even more famous song where we use 3. Okay, and 1 string, 3 fingers. It's once you hear it once, you'll be like, that is magical. I want to know how to do that song. And after you've heard it the 500th time, you're like, I don't ever want to hear that song ever again. So we'll skip Farmer in the Dell because it's the same, more of the same. Let's do Lime and a Coconut, only because getting that sound, you're like, what is that sound? It feels wrong. It's a little bit wrong, right? E7, okay? It just feels like it's, and the reason it feels like this on purpose, it feels like it needs to become that. Okay, it's resolving. Okay, but in this song, they never resolve it. He just goes for it. By the way, I need to rewrite this song. I'm getting ready to publish this book, and Lime and a Coconut is a real song by a real guy in the modern era, so I can't put it in as written. I got to make a parody version of Lime and a Coconut. So if you know cool topic to change this to, we'll use the same melody, we'll just change the words, and then all of a sudden that's not copyrighted anymore, and I already don't exactly follow the rhythm and the melody anyway. We'll put that version in. Okay, don't have it written by somebody else because then I got to pay them royalties and I don't have any money. So Lime and a Coconut. Okay, E chord is kind of crazy on ukulele. Index finger on the top string, 1st fret, middle finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and ring finger on the bottom string, 1st fret. Now, the reason this is easier than you think, if you're in D chord, which you will eventually be playing, right, slide this finger back and drop this finger down, and now you're in E7. Very easy to transition from D to E7. D, E7, D, E7. I say it's easy, and then I watch myself trying to do it. It's not that easy. D, E7. The other reason E7 and A, man, they're just set up for each other, right? Finger on, finger off, finger on, finger off. Okay? We'll be doing that in just a minute here. All right, Lime and a Coconut, E7. Okay? Here we go. My brother bought a coconut, he bought it for a dime. My sister had another one and spent it on a lime. Put the lime in the coconut, shake it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, drink it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, then you'll perk on up. Hooah! I don't know what that hooah is. Now, did it with just my index finger that time and kept it simple. The better singer you are, the simpler you want this, right? You either want nice, simple, peaceful strumming or, something real pretty underneath it, because then your voice can be the star. If you have, brother bought a coconut and bought it for a dime, and guess all of a sudden this ukulele is like getting in the way of the whole process, right? All right, this is the second verse. Let's do plucking with all 4 strings. Okay. Called the doctor, woke him up, and here is what I said. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, doctor, to relieve his bellyache. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? You put the lime in the coconut, put them both together, put the lime in the coconut, then you'll feel much better. Put the lime in the coconut, strums, and call me in the morning. Okay, index finger on that. When we're gonna do a thing in ukulele, we call it tremolo. It's not really tremolo, but that's what we call it. Index finger up and down as fast as you can. Okay. And again, look, nothing's going on in my elbow. Nothing's happening in my elbow. It's not this. You won't be able to go fast enough. It's just from my wrist. You also notice my other fingers are sticking out like this, right? And what they're doing is help counterbalance the weight so that we have this nice, even, steady, not nice and even, that's not the right way to think of it, fast. Okay, so now we've got our right hand patterns figured out. That's the entire purpose of going over this page a second time. First time we're talking about how do you make these chords. The second time it's let's get this hand right, because this is where the music's going to come from, less so this. Okay, turn the page. We go into the green headlines. Five Little Monkeys, Hokey Pokey, Hush Little Baby, Itsy Bitsy Spider, London Bridge is Falling Down, Simple Gifts, Soft Kitty, and Wheels on the Bus. Okay, they're all A and E7, and the purpose is to get you comfortable with going A to E7 and back. Now I'm going to play London Bridges, and you're going to play it with me. But if there's one other song on here that you really love and you want to try, type it into the comments over there. By the way, if you're watching this and it's live and you're logged into YouTube, which means you have your Gmail account and you're logged in, you can use the chat bar. If you don't log in, you can't use the chat bar, which is fine. And then, of course, if you're watching the replay of this, then you leave a comment down there, and then I get it. And whether if your comment's mean, I don't care, and if your comment's nice, I care a lot. Right? And so I every now and then somebody puts a snotty comment on there, and I literally could care less. So I couldn't care less is the correct phrase. But when someone puts on a nice comment, I'm like, oh, see, somebody got value from this. So if you're watching the replay and you get value from this, I appreciate it. Comment down there. Apparently, if you hit the thumb, there must be something on YouTube where if you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button, they send you a free puppy. And that is, something I'm working towards. So you think about that. Every YouTube video I watch, they're like, hit the button, subscribe, do all this stuff to go to my Patreon page. I really don't care about any of that stuff. I'd love for you to go check out Jolly Roger Ukulele and maybe think about getting a membership over there at some point in your ukulele days. It's the best website. You should go there. All right, London Bridges. A chord, E7, and back. Okay, I'm gonna do thumb first, then I'm gonna do 4-finger plucking, and then I'm gonna add in arpeggio at the end. Okay, so I'll stop twice so you can get your bearings. Okay, first time, let's just do thumb. 1, 2, London Bridge. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Now go to plucking. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Build it up with silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold. Build it up with silver and gold, my fair lady. Okay, now we're going to do the arpeggio version, which is ding, 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 thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. Take the key and have some tea, have some tea, have some tea. Take the key and have some tea, my fair lady. Okay, nice, right? Or okay, so you've got 3 main kind of strum patterns going on there. Just the thumb, then the plucks, then the arpeggiated plucks. Okay, Nobody's tossed in a one to put on here. So let's do one in baritone. Most of you guys will be playing ukuleles, and so let me grab one with baritone so you have a chance to play with a different tonality going into your noggin. Simple gifts. A lot of you guys don't know this. If you had a cell phone in the 90s, you might have had this as a ringtone. And some people call it, what do they call it? Lord of the Dance. Okay? Okay. And I'm going to just do arpeggios the whole time. A chord, E7, A chord. Okay? And if you're on a ukulele, don't change your chord shape. You're still doing A chord, E7. A chord, E7. Baritone, it looks like A chord, E7, A chord, E7. Okay? I'm going to count in 3. I'm going to sing Tizza, and then we're going to go. 1, 2, 3. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down to where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place that is right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we won't be ashamed. To turn, turn, and turn, it will be our delight, till by turning and turning we come round right. All right. A chord. Oh, A chord. This is A chord. There it is. All right. What's A chord on what's the up the neck on baritone? Now, this week, okay, a little bit of singing here in the beginning, just because most people play ukulele like that. But in long term, we're going to cut the amount of singing way down. So if you hate singing, it's perfectly fine. Hum these songs in your head, and we will be getting rid of that very quickly here once we are focused entirely on learning the instrumental aspects of this. But it's good to learn this way, because when you go to ukulele gatherings in your neighborhood or your town or whatever, they're going to be strumming, right? They're going to be strumming. It's just the way it is. And it's people who love to sing love to strum, and so they're all happy. I will point out, those of you who know the show Big Bang Theory, I have Soft Kitty in here. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. If you know the show, you know the song. But this week, you're on to the 3-chord songs, okay? So pick any of the songs in here. I guarantee you next week I will play On Top of Spaghetti, okay? Because that's my favorite one. It's a very important song in your life. So we'll almost certainly do that. I usually do This Little Light of Mine. Often do You Are My Sunshine. If you want a challenge, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is a lot of chord changes in a short amount of space. So give that some thought. And the famous song I've been working on the railroad, almost everybody knows that one. And the Happy Birthday one is not the Happy Birthday you think. So know that if you try to play that one, you're going to be like, what in the heck is he doing here? So those will be the ones we probably look at most closely next week, and so let's do those, okay? And then there are 2 songs in the back of the book on the last page, 4-chord songs. If you're on baritone, it's kind of a pain because you've got the easier chords, except for this one, right? Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, Merry, merry king of the bush is he. And then you have this really mean thing. Laugh, kookaburra, bar chord, ring finger, laugh, kookaburra. Gay your life must be, or as I did that wrong, gay your life must be. Okay, so you have a really unpleasant F sharp minor. Now, if you're on ukulele, you're in much better shape to do that last chord. I never teach these last 2 songs if anybody's on baritone in the class, right? If somebody's playing baritone, I'm like, we don't need to do that. But if you're on ukulele, your chords are actually pretty straightforward, and F sharp minor is no big deal. First song I wrote in my first full-length musical was in the key of A, because Kookaburra, Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Laugh, Kookaburra. And then your F sharp minor is so nice. Drop your index finger, raise your middle finger. Laugh, Kookaburra, gay your life must be. You gotta get into ukulele brain. Okay, so there you go. That's so this week. Don't worry so much about the 4-chord songs because we might not play it, but the 3-chord songs definitely. Like You're My Sunshine, This Little Light of Mine, On Top of Spaghetti. I've been working on the Railroad. For He's a Jolly Good Fellow is really fun. Kids, if you're teaching, kids love this Do Your Ears Hang Low song. Goes on for 700 verses and people love it. Danny Boy, if you're a good singer, right? And Clementine, read the words to Clementine. It turns out your narrator is not a very good guy. All right, so that's book 1. That's the stuff you should be working on this week. Now we're going to really quickly race through the book 2 stuff, okay? And so if you were working on book 2 this week, toss into the chat bar which chords on Drunken Sailor went the best for you, okay? But first, before we play that, we are playing. Let me go back here because I got to make sure I can do this in the right order. We are going to play, drum roll, Sakura. One last time. This is our final time. I'm only going to play it on ukulele, and if you're on baritone, that's okay, right? At this point, you should probably be playing it on your own. Let me pull up Sakura. Let's see, find it first. Oh, it's in book 2. That's why it's not showing up. Book 2. Go down to the S's. RS. There's so many songs on the website, you guys. So many. And hopefully you're finding it fun just to go through and just take a look at, like, what are the possibilities. The ones in the member section, there is a stupid amount of music in there. All right, Sakura Ukulele. Okay, and not fast, guys. Okay, I'm going to play the tough uke, or uke claw, I called it. But take your time and play whatever version makes sense. If you're brand new, play the melody. Okay, from the top, Sakura Sakura. Oops, sorry. What's the quarter? Play it again. I want to play it better this time from measure number 1. Ready, play. Okay, so there you are with Sakura Sakura, really, really challenging piece. It's definitely, most of that is book 2 level. A couple of moments are pretty, book 3-ish, right? Like, are mostly beyond that. So, pretty tough song to play, but really pretty, and it sounds just as lovely on baritone. Every single motion that you make on the fretboard is exactly the same on book 2, or on the baritone version of Sakura. Okay, so there's that. Now let's talk about Drunken Sailor. Okay. Now the idea with Drunken Sailor is it's still book 2 is still some rather instructional in many respects, and I want you to feel like when you're done with book 1, you have all of the important tools. Okay, everything in book 2 that's a new tool is going to be one of those things that are important, but not like life and death important. And there's only one version of Drunken Sailor because it has both baritone and ukulele stuff on it. So it's written in D minor, okay, and you could tell that because your first chord is D minor, your last chord is D minor, and then there's some C's in the middle, right? And so on ukulele, index, middle, ring, okay. But most of you guys are on ukulele, so I'm switching to baritone, okay, and that way you have 2 different tones in your noggin, okay? Baritone is a little bit harder in D minor, okay? So baritone, your D minor looks like this, okay? And your C looks like this, okay? But on ukulele, your D minor looks like this, and then you're either going to put your pinky to play the C or your ring finger. Now, your tendency is going to be to put your ring finger here because that's how you get taught. But I will tell you, in the long run, putting your pinky finger there is going to be a huge benefit to you down the road, and it's going to be something you have to do anyway. So start thinking about, a lot of times when you see a C chord, are just because that's how we get taught, it's the first chord you get taught, and they say use your ring finger, and I've done that too, right? And then I've learned over the years, you should probably use your pinky because that's going to give your ring finger the opportunity to play the string above it if necessary. All right, let's play Drunken Sailor as written, okay? Ukulele players, D minor, C. Baritone players, D minor, C. Up and down maybe, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. What shall we do? Let me get on the right chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? In the morning, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. Okay, so if I could get my out of ukulele brain and into baritone brain, that would have gone a little more smoothly. But you see the idea, right? Now, if I go up and down, that's a lot of ukulele. I got to sing very bold and big, and to get over that. And it's like when you go to a concert and whoever the lead singer is has a guitar, they're making this noise, but they have to scream into the microphone to get louder than that guitar. And that's how modern music gets made, and why every song you listen to, it's like it seems like they're screaming into the microphone. All right, now that's A, D minor, and C. On baritone, it felt like it was starting to get a little high for me, but on ukulele, it's just about right, okay? So as whatever your main instrument is, try all of these different chord positions on page 2, and you'll start to find kind of a key that you like better, okay? So let's try A minor, G. So if you're on ukulele, A minor is super easy, and G is pretty challenging. Make sure your index finger is above your middle finger. Okay? A minor, G, and if you're on baritone, A minor looks like the ukulele D minor, and G chord looks right here, okay? So that's what we'll play this time. 1, 2, ready, go. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Lie in the morning. Now that one on baritone stays way below my voice, and so it's probably would be a choice for me singing it. As you guys know, I'm a crummy singer, so I do the best I can with my voice, and so I'm always looking for chords and keys that kind of will come in a little bit easy to play, come in under my voice. That gives me more opportunity to get close. If I look at, I'm trying to pick one that's kind of easy for both of them. We already did D minor, C. Let's give a look to E minor, D. Okay, E minor, D. Now on ukulele, index, middle, ring, the stair step. Start on the 2nd fret, index, middle, ring. Okay, 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string has that nice little stair step look to it. I really love E minor. Back in the day, I really thought E minor. It was my my arch nemesis, and so I used to spend a lot of time playing songs in E minor. And then you're going to go to D. Bam! You already learned D from the strumming book. E minor, D. E minor, D. E minor, D. I spent some time just practicing that move because that's what you're going to be doing. Baritone, E minor is right here. Baritone, D is right here. Okay, so what the ukuleles did on A minor G, you're now going to do on E minor D. Okay, let's see how that fits on my voice, see how it fits on your voice. Okay, start with E minor. 1, 2, ready, go. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Lie in the morning. Okay. But so try all of the chords, all of the shapes and everything so that you get where you know these chords. Now, do you have to memorize chords? No. The important chords you will eventually memorize because you will play them 10,000 times. So you will play the chord, the C chord, and the A chord, and the D chord, and the G chord, and the F chord so many times that it'll just become part of who you are. And so don't sit down with your book and your heart brain and think, I have to memorize all these chords. No, you don't. You have to memorize the chords that are in the song at that moment. And you don't even have to memorize them, right? You just have to know how to get from one to the other. And I always tell people, hey, when I'm getting to start a new song, if I'm going to play this song in A minor or what looks to be D minor for ukulele, I'm going to spend some time. All right, here's A minor on ukulele. I'm going to play that. And here's G on ukulele. So I'm going to just go practice. How do I get between those two? Should I use my middle finger and then my regular G? I got to use my regular G. Those fingers you can't negotiate those. Those have to be that way. So I can either put my index finger up here or maybe, like usual, put my middle finger up there. But I'm thinking ahead prior to starting the song. Which fingers am I going to use and how am I going to get from one to the other? It's an important project on every song is if you're going to be doing the chords to be thinking about how am I going to get from one to the other. Now when we start doing tough uke in book 1 and continue on like we did today with Sakura Sakura, things change a lot. You're going to have to do a lot of that strategizing about, all right, I've got this chord and I got to get to this chord. Right? How am I going to do that? What string do I need to hit first so that the other parts of the chord fit together? So working with your chords is not going away. It's just that the kind of the boring thing of just putting the chord on, strumming for a while, and then switching and strumming for a while. That's for pop stars. That's for cowboys. That's for people who are singers who don't really want to master the instrument. On Jolly Roger, we master the instrument. I want to teach you every single possible way to play this thing, and you're going to be a great musician, not just a great ukulele player, but a great musician when you're all done with this. So this week, level 2, spend a little bit of time on Drunken Sailor, and then let me just peek at the book 2 here real quick, because I'll tell you what's coming up next. We're doing all of the celebration songs. And so this week was Drunken Sailor, where we really kind of nailed down and sang it. So if you want to peek ahead to For He's a Jolly Good Fellow, we'll go over that next week. And then I mentioned on the strumming book, I've got the Blinky style Happy Birthday. It's very different than the regular Happy Birthday. And so we will be digging into that as well, because I want you to have a happy birthday that isn't Happy Birthday when you play for people. And I'll tell you the whole story about who Blinky was and why we play that, and give you a much cooler version of Happy Birthday to play, because it's pretty likely you're going to know somebody with a birthday eventually, and you're going to come over and say, hey, I want to play ukulele for him. So that's it for the week. Spend a little bit more time on Drunken Sailor. We'll practice a couple of other keys. I'll probably play it on ukulele next week, and then we'll start diving into For He's a Jolly Good Fellow, and Happy Birthday will be coming up. So that's book 2. Book 1, you guys are finishing up the strum book, and then we will dive into the C, the C, and then C is easy after you've done A, D, and E7. So have a wonderful week. I will talk to you guys next Tuesday night. And if you're a member, or if you want to be a member, go to Jolly Roger, make sure you're a member, and then you can go to the membership page. And we are working on the Beatles on that group. So that's on KMOS, KMOS. The Beatles stuff is on Wednesday night, and it's for members. So you have to be a Jolly Roger ukulele member. Now, it's $5 to start being a member at Jolly Roger, and then after a week of that, then we switch you to the quarterly payments. And it's worth it. I mean, honestly, $25. There's 700 songs, I think, on there, or nearly, and probably at least. And they're all arranged for that high level play. So what you saw me do on Sakura Sakura tonight, that's what it's all arranged for. So yeah. So ho ho ho, a member am I. All right, my friend, you are ready for Wednesday night. So go get into the member area. Go get those 3 Beatles songs we're going to work on tonight. I do tell members, don't worry about downloading everything on the member page. That's just going to fill up a book and fill up your iPad with a bunch of stuff you'll never end up playing. Just work on the stuff we're working on at the time. Get good at a few songs rather than having a gajillion songs in your book that you're not good at. That's what I did for a decade, and it's not a smart way to do it. The smart money's on work really hard on a small number of songs, and you don't even need to work on the whole song, just the hard parts of the song. Get the hard parts figured out, and then you really will be doing what real musicians do, professionals, is they work on just the parts that are hard, and then they assume the easy stuff's going to come together for them. So yo ho ho, Kamos, and anybody else listening, I will see you tomorrow night for Beatles on the ukulele, and we have 3 songs that are, all 3 of them are challenging, all 3 of them are fun, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.